welcome to this month's issue of the Hippocratic Diaries video newsletter. And this month I'm taking you on a grocery store tour, and we're going to show you just some good healthy options that you can choose. It helps to get a nice visual of what's actually healthy, what's not, instead of doing all sorts of guesswork. So yeah, we'll just start walking around the store and show you what's going on. We're going to start off in the produce section right now, and this is really where you should spend most of your time in any grocery store. So basically, this is where you've got all your fruits and vegetables. Okay, hopefully you can find organic. I know you're paying a bit more, but trust me, it's worth it. Okay, you're not getting any pesticides, and you're getting a much higher quality product in terms of nutrition, in terms of freshness, all those sorts of things. So definitely spend the time with organic food. If you do a 1 month challenge with organic and just eat exclusively that, I can swear that you won't want to go back to conventional produce. So again, spend as much time as you can in the produce aisle. You want to focus mostly on green vegetables, and then from there you can branch out into some of the other colors, but greens is where you're going to find most of the nutritiously dense foods. So we're just going to keep walking around. So here we are in the bakery section, and honestly this is the section of the store you should probably spend the least amount of time in. Alright, we've all been sold big lies by both the government and by food corporations about how necessary grains are. They are not necessary. The world got along without them for thousands of years, and it's only when the agricultural revolution kicked in that they suddenly became a big thing. Really, they're just meant to kind of carry you through a famine period. So they weren't ever a staple in human civilization until recently. There's a lot of marketing and a lot of lobbying that goes on to make grains into the big thing they are. Really, in the big picture, you know, some of you may have read some of my articles that I've done on grains, but this is my one biggest argument is I dare you to find one nutrient that's in grains that is not in fruits and vegetables. Okay? You are not going to be nutrient deficient by not eating grains. They cause all sorts of problems from irritation in the colon and the gut to allergies to all sorts of things, so please stay away from grains if you can. Focus on the fruits and vegetables, because that's where you're going to get all the good stuff. Grains are really just fillers and not good fillers at that. That being said, if you do feel the need to still consume grains, at least on an occasional basis, then you want to make the best choice possible. So that's why I tend to fall for this kind of stuff. This is sprouted grain bread, and when you have sprouting with the grains, what that does is it destroys some of the harmful nutrients in the grains, and it makes it more easily usable for your body. So definitely look for sprouted grain breads. This Silver Hills Bakery stuff that you see here, they have 3 different kinds. Okay, this tends to be some pretty high quality stuff, so you can kind of pick whatever kind works for you. And this stuff is usually organic too. Okay, so it's a very clean choice if you are going to still consume breads. And not all grocery stores carry it, but if you can find Ezekiel breads or anything that the Ezekiel company makes, that's the extremely high quality stuff. So it is worth the extra cost. But again, bakery section in general is a section we want to completely bypass when we're shopping in the grocery store. Alright, so here we are again, another section of the produce aisle. Spices are what you're going to depend on to flavor your food, okay? We want to avoid a lot of high sugar, high sodium sauces, a lot of that highly processed stuff. If you get really good at using spices in your cooking, then you can produce great healthy tasting food that, you know, doesn't have any added calories in it. So definitely you want to focus on the spices, and you're going to find you're going to get a lot better flavor if you use the fresh spices. So most of the grocery stores on the side of the produce aisle have a selection of fresh spices, and that's what you want to select from, okay? Then you can dry them yourself if you want to use them that way, or you can just dice them up and toss them in your recipes straight away. Trust me, it is a much better way to flavor your food, and you want to depend on that more so than dried spices if you can. And you know, if you don't have a green thumb or you're not into gardening, this is a great way for you to get that great flavor without compromising at all. So we're just going to take a quick walk down the aisle here. You can see a lot of greens and produce here. Again, try and focus on organic if you can. But a lot of these salad kits, especially some of the pre-washed ones, nice way to get some quick, healthy produce without having to do a lot of prep work yourself. So something to think about. We'll talk about dressings a bit later, but generally speaking, you want to avoid the store-bought dressings and you want to make your own. So if you ever walk into a grocery store, if you're ever near a grocery store, you need a quick meal in a hurry. Most of the stores are starting to carry these pre-made smoothies on the side. Okay, they're not ideal, but they do have a lot of good benefits, and it's still going to beat going through the drive-thru if you need a quick meal. Okay, so this one right here, the green goodness, one of my favorites. Okay, it's basically like eating a whole bunch of green vegetables in one shot. You know, there's still some fruit juice in here, still going to be some sugar, but again, it beats a fast food meal, and I'd say it's even better usually than Booster Juice or Jugo Juice or any of those smoothie chains. So something to think about. A lot of different flavors here. Again, not all of them are good for you, so just because it's in a healthy aisle, don't assume it's good for you. And that goes the same for every aisle in the grocery store. Just because it's beside something healthy, do not assume that it's good for you. Okay, so like I said, the green goodness one is pretty decent. And then some of these berry ones are going to be okay. Basically, again, still, no matter how healthy it seems, be reading labels, be checking into it, alright? But again, decent fast choice, these pre-made smoothies. They're usually flash pasteurized, which means you're going to have some loss of nutrition, but it still beats a lot of other alternatives. So we're just going to keep walking down here and highlighting some of the green vegetables. Okay, so we got broccoli, celery, again, cabbage, stuff like that. Excellent choices. There's some more greens on the other side that we'll skip past, but again, just focus on the greens. That's all I can say. It makes up for a lot. Okay, the fresher the seafood you can get, the better. But depending where you live, that might not always be an option. So, you know, again, frozen seafood, the shrimp and salmon. Salmon, obviously, you want to make sure it's wild if possible. But you know, seafood is great for the fact that we're usually getting a lot of omega-3s, and it's a very clean source of protein. Just make sure that you're avoiding a lot of the pre-seasoned stuff and a lot of stuff that's breaded. So that's basically it for this half of the store. We're going to take a journey out to the other side. Right, so here we are in the meat section, and basically, really, it doesn't matter what kind of meat you're eating as far as whether it's chicken, beef, fish, all that kind of stuff. More current research has proven that if it's grass-fed organic beef, it is just as healthy, if not healthier, than salmon. Okay, so that old adage red meat is bad for you. You can toss it out the window. You just want to make sure, though, that you are getting the highest quality red meat you can find, and that will determine the nutritional value of it. And really, that does go for chicken as well, right? Chicken isn't necessarily healthier than any other meat out there. If it's bad quality chicken, it can be bad for you. So you just want to make sure that you're getting animals that were raised naturally, that were fed a natural diet, you know, that weren't locked in cages and in feedlots all the time. Those are the factors that determine the quality of the meat, as opposed to you know, just what kind of meat it is. And again, if you are going to be eating meat, you want to focus on this stuff here that, you know, that's fresher and that you're making yourself. You want to avoid the deli and all those processed cold cuts and pre-packaged meats, all those kind of things. Those are the things that really create the trouble because there's so many chemicals and preservatives in them. Right? So focus on fresh, natural meat. Even better if you can make it to an independent butcher. That's usually where they're going to have the best stuff. You know, but if you're in the grocery store, then this is a good place to get some quality protein. So moving on. So here we are in the cold cut section, just because I want to point out a few small factors. So like I said, in general, you know that it's not the best choice just because they are loaded with so much preservatives and stuff. Sorry. But every once in a while you do come across a product that is decent. So if you do have a craving for you know, a hot dog or something, there are some smarter choices you can make. So in terms of hot dogs and smokies, every once in a while you do find one that is pretty clean. So this particular version is exclusive to this store. But this one is very low in fat, and it doesn't have a ton of fillers in it, which I love. It is, you know, a very clean product. And again, the ingredients list is very short. So, you know, again, get into reading labels, and if the ingredients list for a product like this is more than 2 lines long, you know, it's probably going to be full of some stuff. So just really focus on that. Then when we're getting into some of the hot dogs and stuff, right? This Natural Selections company that's done by Maple Leaf Foods, okay, they've started to come into some higher quality meats and stuff. So something to think about. They have a lot less fillers and stuff like that. And so again, they have a whole selection there. Schneider's has also done their own version of it, and so just something to think about if you are going to buy this stuff, that there are some better versions out there. All right. All right. So here we are in the freezer section, and just like every other section of the store, this has its good and its bad points. Good thing is the frozen fruit. Okay, again, get organic if you can, but the freezer section is a nice place to get those fruits that are maybe out of season, or those fruits that are really expensive in the wintertime. All right, so you know, over here we have some frozen berries. Really great addition to smoothies. In fact, berries are the one fruit you should focus on more than anything, because they're very low glycemic and they have a very high nutritional content for their size. And so we're just going to keep walking down this way. And the rest of the freezer section, okay, you're going to get a lot of fries, and you're going to get a lot of prepackaged meals. All right, those things are another thing that you want to avoid, just because again, you're getting a lot of fillers, a lot of sodium, a lot of chemicals, stuff like that, right? The other thing is, again, just because it has healthy labels like low fat or low sodium doesn't mean it's healthy, all right? You have to get right down to the ingredients list, and again, if it's too long, it's not worth it. Always best to make this stuff fresh yourself. So we're just going to keep walking down here. Again, we're getting into a lot of the pizzas and the frozen meals, and again, this stuff is just best to avoid. Best to buy the ingredients yourself and to make it fresh yourself. That's where you're going to get the best nutrition, and it's even better value for your dollar. Okay, this stuff, again, technically is overpriced for what you're actually getting for it. And there can be a lot of hidden things in there that you're not necessarily thinking of, even though it seems healthy on the outside. Alright, so this is one of the aisles that you want to avoid for sure, the cereal aisle, okay? Again, no matter how healthy it appears on the outside, these things are loaded with cheap ingredients. They often sneak a lot of sugar in there. And again, they're high in grains, which I've already talked about as being quite hard on the inside of your body. So best to buy your own natural grains and mix them up if you do want a cereal. But ultimately, cereal should be avoided altogether as a food choice. So again, stay out of the cereal out in the grocery store, and really there are no healthy cereals out there. Even ones that are full of organic ingredients are still quite bad for you. On this side we have coffees and teas, and coffee is again one of those other foods that you want to buy organic if you can. Okay, coffee is one of the most heavily sprayed crops in the world, so spend that extra money, get organic, so you're not giving yourself a chemical bath every time you drink it. Alright, so here we are. On one side we have beverages, on the other side we have chips and snacks. Alright, again, another great example of the section you want to avoid. Alright. Some of the carbonated spring waters, provided they are flavored naturally, they can be an alright addition or alternative to pop, you know. But again, some of them do have artificial sweeteners or sugar in them, so still good to avoid them there. Again, pop is never a good option. There should never be a reason to find pop in your grocery cart. Just empty calories and a lot of hard work for your body to get rid of. And again, any of these beverages, even if they appear healthy, even if they say they have a lot of fruit or have vitamins added, you know, those vitamin waters are pretty popular. Again, it's garbage. It's usually synthetic vitamins that your body can't even metabolize properly. So again, get into label reading, get into looking at things closely, because just because it makes a healthy claim on there does not mean it's healthy. All right. So what we're going to do now is head over to the dairy aisle, and we'll show you some traps there and some good things there too. And that should be basically it. Alright, so here we are in the dairy section. First, going to talk about eggs quickly. And again, contrary to popular belief, eggs are phenomenal for you, even a whole egg. Okay, don't feel like you just have to eat just the egg whites. In fact, the yolks is where all the nutrition is. And if you're not eating the yolks, your body won't be able to metabolize all the protein in the egg whites anyways. So it's kind of a waste just to eat the whites. So definitely eggs, smart choice all the time, no matter what. The only thing with eggs is if you do want to get them, again, the most bang for your buck, try and get organic free-range eggs. Alright, the omega-3 eggs, it's kind of a hit and miss. You're not getting necessarily enough extra omega-3s in there to make a difference. But at least with the organic free-range eggs, you are getting that additional omega-3, and you got a much cleaner product. Okay, there's going to be more nutrition in there, and they're usually bigger and more satisfying as well. Alright, sorry for the interruption, I had to move a bit. So yogurts, they are a good choice. Again, the kind that you get matters a lot though. Greek yogurt is the best because we got higher protein in there, and it's honestly much creamier, better flavor. Not necessarily for dairy do you want low fat. Okay, the fat helps us absorb nutrients, and it helps us feel fuller. It helps reduce hormones. Okay, so fat is very valuable, and to get low fat products, you're actually kind of selling yourself short there. When you do get yogurts, you want to get ones that are plain, unflavored, and add your own flavoring. All right. If you get the fruit flavored stuff or anything like that, anything that's pre-mixed like that, you're getting a lot of excess sugar in there. So again, add your own flavoring to plain yogurt to get the most value there. If you are going to get milk, which is honestly not necessary, okay? Again, if you're focusing on the green vegetables, you are going to get plenty of calcium and plenty of minerals that way. So the milk isn't actually necessary. If you are going to get milk though, definitely get organic, right? That means that, again, the cow had a better diet, you're going to get a better quality milk, and there's not hormones and antibiotics in there. Two, usually the nutrition isn't as destroyed as conventional milk. Lastly, over here we have cottage cheeses, and again, another good dairy choice. Again, try and get the full fat stuff, great source of protein, and something worth looking at. Kind of mixed in with this whole section is fruit juices, which are again a waste of time. They should not be found in anyone's cart or anyone's kitchen. Right? Way too high sugar and very few nutrients for what you're actually getting. So that's basically a summary of what a grocery store is. What you get, you focus on walking around the perimeter of the store, and you definitely want to get into reading labels and just not going based on marketing and what you've been told in the past. So hopefully you have a better idea now of how to fill your cart with healthy stuff in the grocery store, and that way you'll be able to focus on making healthy meals and not waste time going to restaurants and not waste money on foods that really have no value for your body. So take care, and we'll see you next month for the Hippocratic Diaries video newsletter.